What's up, guys? This is going to be my first YouTube video. This is going to be a bit different from the ones that are going to follow. It's going to be a lot shorter, and it's going to be much more organized and focused, funny enough. My other videos are going to be all over the place, and they're going to go into much deeper concepts. This is going to be a little silly video today. It's going to be about how to win an argument with your girlfriend, your wife, any woman you're dealing with. And first, I'd like to preface this by saying that if you really want to know how to deal with conflict in relationships, there are really cool resources out there for you. One of which is The Way of the Superior Man by David Deida. Lots of weird shit in there, but really it tells you how to deal with conflicts with women in particular if you're a dude. But this is going to be a bit more, actually a bit more practical guide. And let me say one more thing before I start. I want to mention that this is for guys who feel that they're always losing the argument. And I've met a lot of guys like that. There's lots of people like that, lots of guys like that, and they feel like they're in this relationship with this woman, and they always end up losing the argument. So this is for you guys. And I want to say that women usually want you to win at least every once in a while, just to keep that respect for you, just to keep that, he can beat me every once in a while. Patrice O'Neal has a lot to say about that. I've been watching his YouTube videos. He says that women want you to win, basically. But anyway, let me get into this. So, I mean, they don't want to push over. They don't want a guy that they can constantly beat. So yeah, anyway, let me get into the issue. So first, in order to know how to beat a woman in an argument, how to beat a woman, what a bad way to start my YouTube channel. So in order to know how to win an argument against a woman, especially in a relationship, you're gonna have to know the tactics that they typically use. And guys use these tactics as well, but women are much more effective at them, and they use them a lot more in relationships, I feel. So the first tactic they use is changing the issue. So when I've been getting into a lot of arguments lately with women in particular, I've been on this app where I just argue with people all the time. So I'm going to give you an example of how they change the topic, usually, how they change the issue. I think we were talking about, how something about staring, how she doesn't like guys staring and how it's harassment and whatever. And then I go into the comments and I'm like, yeah, but I understand that it's annoying, but staring is not actually harassment. I don't know if legally it's harassment, but there's nothing really there. I mean, if you're going to be in the world, if you're going to interact with people, you're going to have to deal with these little things, such as staring. And then she goes into this thing where she tries to lose the point and says, oh yeah, but who told you that this was about staring? This might be about a guy. What if a guy was groping me? What if a guy was doing this? And then I was kind of tempted to take her bait and go into the discussion of men groping women, and then go into that and take the discussion into that direction. But had I done that, I would have lost the argument right then and there, and that's what she wanted me to do. So I stuck to it, and I was like, this isn't about groping, this is about guys staring at you at the gym or whatever it was, and that's not harassment. And then she had to respond to that. So number one thing women do, usually that's their go-to, and this is the thing that most guys fail at, is the number one thing is changing the topic. So women change the topic, and they sort of bait you to bite and then take the discussion into another direction where they're actually right. I mean, they are right. Groping is sexual harassment, but staring, that's much more controversial, at least I would say it's not controversial at all, but I mean, in today's age, who the fuck knows? So the second thing women do is they'll use the emotional bait, and I find that really fucking hilarious. And I'll give you an example of this. So you're arguing about something with your girlfriend or with any woman, and then all of a sudden, she throws something in there, and she throws something in there. It could range from something really malicious and something really rude to something not as obvious. And she could be like, oh, well, you're really mean. And then you start feeling bad about yourself, and that's something that's not really obvious. That's a more subtle thing. You're really mean, and you start feeling bad about yourself, and then you kind of stray away from the argument, and it starts going in her direction more. Or she can say something like really fucking rude, like something about your dick size or whatever, like some really outrageous shit, or something about your mom, like, oh yeah, I never liked your mom or whatever. I think that I got that from like a comedy skit. So yeah, she could say something really malicious, and by the way, that's a red sign, that's a red flag for me. So yeah, if she does say one of these things, what she's looking for here is for you to overreact, and she's trying to piss you off in general, or she's trying to soften you up with a mean comment. So if she's trying to piss you off and she says something about your parents or about whatever, like something that she knows she about? And women usually resort to sexual stuff. Like if it's a woman you don't know, she's gonna be like, oh yeah, that's why you don't get laid. Like that's their go-to, and that's bait for you. Okay, if you're gonna take that bait, you're gonna lose the argument. You're gonna be like, oh yeah, yes I do get laid, and then you're gonna be taking the conversation in a whole other direction. What you should be doing is just sticking to the topic at hand. So if we're gonna take the argument I was having with this woman online, had she said, oh yeah, that's why you don't get laid, or oh yeah, you probably have a small dick, or whatever, had I taken that argument, that would have been a completely different argument, and then it would have been 50-50. Like we'd be like in this argument where we're just insulting each other instead of actually getting to the point that I was trying to get to, which is staring is not harassment, and then concentrating on that one point. So that's the second thing. That's the emotional bait that a lot of women do. And if the guy doesn't fall for the first one, which is changing the topic, and a lot of guys do, a lot of guys are going to fail for the emotional bait thing. And yeah, you're going to go from being really trying to have a reasonable conversation, or maybe trying to win an argument, maybe being competitive and trying to win an argument, to just fucking throwing insults at her, being pissed off, or feeling bad for her. So what I would say is just have zero emotion when it comes to that, and just stick to your point, and go, like, stick to that point, and just keep mentioning the same point until she actually responds to it. Third one is crying, and that's sort of an emotional bait as well, and that's something a lot of women do. And I'm not gonna be how do you say, pessimistic enough, or I don't know how you say it, like I'm not gonna be I don't know, anyway. So I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt and assume that a lot of them cry because they're sensitive. And I dated a lot of girls, and a lot of them are actually really sensitive, and they cry whenever you tell them anything. So if she does cry, you can do two things. You can either double down, or you can just be nice to her. And the difference here lies in how well you know the girl. So a lot of girls are really mean and really shitty and really sassy and all that crap, and then all of a sudden they're crying because they know they're going to lose the argument, and that's their only way out of it. So in that case, I mean, you just throw in a few jabs in there and just be like, oh yeah, but I want the argument. Like, I know you're crying and all that shit, but I want that argument. And then you can just leave, or just drop the argument right there, because you already got it. You already won that one. The second one is the girl who's actually sensitive and all that. You can comfort her. I like comforting girls, but don't let her, just in case, and that's a pessimistic view, just in case it's not a genuine crying, just throw it in there a few times that, I know you're upset and all that, but I was still right about this, just throw it in a couple of times and move on after that. So I know it's a pretty petty video to be making, but I see a lot of guys losing a lot of arguments out there. I see a lot of guys losing 100% of their arguments with their woman, and believe it or not, I think it's good for the relationship to win one every once in a while. And if you want real relationship advice and much better relationship advice, this YouTube channel isn't going to be about relationship advice as much as it is going to be about just being a dude and being a cool motherfucker and just going after your dreams and all that. If you want real relationship advice, I really recommend The Way of the Superior Man by David Deida. I recommend you check it out. A really, really good book. Goes deep on a lot of topics and gives a lot of amazing insights, in my opinion. Just disregard the woo stuff, disregard the spiritual stuff if you're not into that, and just focus on the main topic at hand. So thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed this first video, and if you didn't, then I guess let me know with the dislike button. Have an awesome day.